A feeble life cannot meditate, a feeble life cannot love, and a feeble life will never blossom because it is a half life, not a full life. If this has to be a roaring piece of life, its desire should be limitless, said by Sadhguru. Many people have been brought up on the idea or ideology that contentment is the greatest virtue. If you are content with whatever you have, it simply means you are not even aware of the larger possibility of life, the possibility of a human being steering his own evolution and blossoming into a state of fragrance and beauty has been completely discounted. That is the only reason why people are content. Once it happened that a newly married woman went back to her mother's place and said, "My husband is such a wonderful man. He gives me whatever I ask for." The worldly wise mother looked at her and said, "Obviously, you are not asking enough. Obviously, you are not asking enough from life. That is why you are content. If I am greedy, would it be better? Yes, you must be greedy. Right now, you are stingy about your greediness. Really, you are stingy about your greediness. The problem in this world is not of greed. The problem is that people are stingy. This is why they do not aspire for the biggest possibility. They want to save themselves for the next world. If you are greedy, you would want everything from life. Would you just be satisfied with a little more money, power, or pleasure? If you are truly greedy, you would aspire for the highest. The word enough must be removed from our vocabulary because it is relevant only to the physicality of life. If you are being served food, at some point of time you have to say enough. Enough has become valuable in people's mind only because they have not explored dimensions beyond the physical. The physical is a limited quantity by itself. If you get greedy with the physical, there will be not enough for someone else. If you take all the food, someone else cannot eat. If someone takes all the land, no one else will have anything. So the world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for even one man's greed. And that is true of the physicality. It doesn't apply on non-physical dimension. If the realm of your experience is limited to the physical nature of existence, contentment seems like a good idea. But if your life is beginning to explore dimensions beyond the physical, if something beyond the physical is becoming a living reality in your life, contentment is a very bad idea. You will destroy the very possibility of becoming a limitless, boundlessness nature. You will definitely destroy the possibility of becoming a limitless, boundless nature. The moment you say, "I will be content," it is a boundary. When you say, "This much is enough," you are drawing that much of a boundary. So contentment is just a containment. You are trying to draw a boundary with some semblance of sanity for yourself. But that boundary satisfies you and gives you sanity only for a short period of time. Then it has to be expanded. Otherwise, it will not work. People are trying to achieve contentment at various levels, at different stages of life. At the age of 20, whatever you thought would be your contentment, did it remain the same when you turned 30? Specifically right now, I am in this age group. Similarly, I don't think so it is really meaningful for me what I thought when I was in 20 or mid 20. Right now those things mean almost foolish. Similarly, whatever your ideas of contentment at 30 Do they remain the same at 40? So people are at 40, they can really let me know. How does it sound? Your idea of contentment subsidize only when you are going down to the tube or your life is a totally failure. But when you are on an upswing, your ideas of contentment continue to expand. That is, if you have an opportunity, you will expand. If you take away the selective or discriminatory nature of your desire, then it has no limits. It does not choose. Contentment is a very silly idea because it will stunt you as a human being and make you into a limited entity. Maybe you will become a good cog in society that fits into some mechanism that needs to work, but you will not blossom into a new dimension of existence. Success has become another name of contentment. So do not get me wrong, folks. I definitely feel that success has become another name for contentment. When you say I am successful, it means you have reached a place where you can rest, where you think it is enough. Enough and contentment is not a good idea, and your limited ideas of success are no good either. However much you acquired or achieve, it is not success. Until you have broken all the barriers and become boundless, you cannot call it success. Until your being allows itself to blossom to a boundless state, you should not be content. You must burn with discontent. This seems to be against all traditional teaching that people receive, most preferably in Indian societies. People have always been told that they must be content. Contentment need not enter our lives as an ideology if your aspiration or desire is not selective. Naturally, you would not limit yourself to the physicality of existence. Then, desire becomes a powerful energy to expand and burst open this being who containing himself with contentment. The very nature of human being is to constantly desire to be something more than what he is right now. You are always longing to have a little larger slice of life than what is there now. The means that are employed to achieve that may vary from person to person. One person may believe with more money, knowledge, or power, it will happen. Someone else may believe it will happen only by seeking God, but one way or the other, every human being is longing to be something more than what he is right now. You cannot stop this. If you carefully look at your desiring process, you will find that it is not about money, power, or wealth. In some form, you want to expand, and that's all. How much expansion will settle you for good? If I, make you the king or the queen of the planet, would it settle you? No, because then you would look at the stars. This is not the nature of your human being. If I give you the whole planet, won't you look at the stars? If no amount of expansion is going to settle you, what is it that you are seeking? You are looking for unlimited expansion, and that is spirituality.